The following program is brought to you by Naleo TV, the people's platform.
Aloha, I'm Barbara, and today we are going to make a very cool surfboard. Hi, on today's show, I'm going to teach you about the importance of dots. This is what I call a dot. We're going to make one and use it on a really cool surfboard. Are you ready? Let's go. Okay, I started with making a bunch of different colors in the green and blue colors, as you can see. And I always feel like when I'm doing my complicated rolls, they need to be offset by some rolls that are not so complicated in order to make the rolls pop out. So when I'm building a dot, which is a term I came up with, I start with the center color of the dot, and I'm going to roll it up, and this is going to be the bulk of the color that you see. You can see all the different colors lined in there. This is one that I didn't completely blend it in because sometimes I like it kind of a swirly feel. That's what we have going on this one. So this is going to be the center of the dot. And I'm trying to get all those little air bubbles out of there. And I'm going to trim off my ends. Boop. And there you go. And it's kind of cool. You can actually see a little bit of a jelly roll swirl in there. You see? Okay, from there, I'm going to add a little bit of white. The concept of the dot is really meant to be very simple. And that way, actually no. I'm going to do a sheet of that. Change of plans. I'm going to take some blue. Yeah, I like those two colors together. I'm going to roll this up into a tube, which eventually would be like a little snake. And we're going to run some down the length of the dot. I use a lot of dots in my stuff. People are always amazed because when the cane gets pulled down small, you just see these itty bitty flecks that were once big. It's part of the magic of the cane. Okay, so sometimes I build them symmetrical, but you don't have to. This is an area that you can just completely play. The most important thing is that you have contrasting colors next to one another. So as I get this down, I have to have everything just so. Okay, we're almost there. This takes you back to when you were a kid playing with Play-Doh, rolling out snakes and making coil pots. Okay, keep my ends clean. Now sometimes you can take these dots and make them into flowers too. It's kind of like the building stone for everything. Okay, so we've got this nice long snake going on here. And I think I'll just cut it right there. Okay, I'm going to go down the length and give it a trim and go down the length. See how I'm holding here and I'm giving this a tug? That makes this a little bit longer and a little bit thinner. I'm trying to see if I can get one more length out of it down here. I love those teaching moments. There it goes, down to the end. Okay, what's happening here is this blue is a little bit dry, so it's not completely sticking. But I'm not worried about it because once I get everything all housed, it'll be perfect. Okay, pull this one down a little bit more. Again, I'm going to run down the length and give it a cut. Down the length. Actually, I would think I want two more. Yes, I'm just gonna make it. It's a perfect amount. Simple pleasures. Little rewards like nailing it make you feel good. Okay, there we go. So now we've got 6 going down. And like always, we want to flip it to the other side. Oh, problem. Move it over. Okay. Now I'm going to wrap it with the white. And this blue is really going to pop next to the white. Okay, I'm going to trim this edge. So, you know, some people do this with refrigerator cookies. And I have to admit, I tried it once and it was not easy. They all kind of blurred together. But my daughter and I were just talking about it. I think we're going to try it again this holiday season. Okay, come straight down. Again, we don't want things to overlap. Whoops. Okay, so now, actually, see how this is longer on this side? We want to get rid of that. Let's see. Straight down. Okay. Now we want these guys to just connect perfectly so we don't have any overlap. Alrighty. And then, what do you think we're gonna do next? Can I leave it like that? No. See, you guys are smart. You've been watching. We have to go back and we're gonna add little strips in between. Look at that, almost looks like a flower. That's cool. Okay, my next contrasting color I'm gonna go for is this baby blue. And it might not seem that contrasting, but this is gonna go next and that will help make this pop. There's always a plan. Whenever you do the second roll, the second layer of the dot, they're gonna be a little bit bigger than the first layer, I noticed. If you do it the same size, sometimes it makes this whole section seem more flat, and I want it more pronounced, so I want my dots, well, not that big, but you get the point. Okay, so we're gonna take this baby blue, pull it down so it's a little bit wider than the blue that we did inside, and go back and fill that space. Okay, again, I'm gonna cut my end, clean ends. I'm gonna bring it down here. Okay, so now I've got it coming down this one. Give it a cut. Pull this a little bit more. Well, not too much. You can always push it back up. Did you see that move? That was good. Okay, I'm gonna come down here. Give it a cut. Give this a pull. Give that a push. There we go. See, it's fun. You know, one of the other great things about when you're doing the polymer clay stuff, you're so tuned into what you're doing, it just kind of gives you a break from all the other stuff that's going on in your life. I think that's why I like it. Not that the other stuff is bad. It just puts you in the present, which is great. Okay, 2 more. Okay, this one's not going to make it, but it's okay because I have this one. Okay, again, I'm checking to make sure that I've got this section pretty smoothed out. Yeah, I think I'm really happy with these colors. Very oceany, which is perfect for a surfboard. Now, I choose to use plexiglass for the background of my flat things because I can have shapes laser cut exactly the way that I want them. And when they are, and when I'm working with them, they come with a paper on it, which I peel off, but I don't need any glue, and no glue, let me tell you, is a beautiful thing. Not only do I not have to smell it, I don't have to deal with cleaning up after it. So it's a great way to start projects. Okay, see, I'm getting those wedged in there. That's looking good. Okay, we're gonna just finish it up with this beautiful teal color here. So when I'm wrapping around, I want a straight line, not a beveled line. Actually, this whole roll, we haven't done one beveled line. That's amazing. Usually I'm saying, bevel it, bevel it. Okay. All right, here we go. We're wrapping around. We're gonna go right to it. And slice straight down. Gosh, if any of your kids go to Innovations, they have a polymer clay club, which is super awesome. I've been helping them with it. So they come up to the gallery and we make things. Okay, there we go. Again, I'm trimming the extra. I feel like my clay, my solid colors of clay are like gold. I don't want to waste any of it. Okay, so now, oh, I love how that turned out. Okay, I'm gonna give it a squeeze. Now, with this one, I'm not gonna pull the whole thing down now because we don't need it and it will take too long. I'm gonna just cut a section of it because I want to use this one. Oh, yeah. Okay, see how right now we still have these little air bubbles in there? But we're gonna squeeze those right on out. And this is why it's important to do the squeeze and pull versus just the roll, because what this does is it pushes the air out and it's gonna make a beautiful dot. I'm very happy with it. Okay. Now I do build my canes quite a bit larger than people starting do it, but this will help you because you're able to see exactly how it's done, but it doesn't need to be built this large. But it doesn't need to be built really small either. Because there's nothing worse than a small roll and then you want more and you don't have it. So it's better to go a little bit bigger. Okay. All right, here we go. Push that air out. You get really strong doing this too. All right, once I get this down to the size that I'm gonna use it, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna use this turtle here. Whoops. I'm gonna use this turtle here to make a pattern going down the center of the surfboard, and then we're gonna go back and we're gonna fill it in with this dot. And it's gonna make those little honus pop out. And if you're unsure how to do that, there's an episode that you need to go back and watch on how to build a honu. Okay, cutting the ends off. Yes. Okay, we're getting there. We're almost there. Okay. I'm gonna do my secret magic behind the leg trick while I get the rest of the honus cut. All right, see? We made that work. Yes, that's beautiful. Okay, so now when you're cutting a bigger cane, there's two different, you can do it with a regular blade or you can do it with a larger blade. I just want to show you this blade that's really cool. Now Darylyn, who works with me, she prefers this blade. With this one, you're getting a steadier thing versus with this, it's more wobbly. You can see that. This one's a little stiffer. So with this one, I tend to go right on top of it. And I'm gonna go through and cut a series. And let me tell you, I make this look easy. It's actually very challenging if you've never done it before to get it straight. All right. I'm not sure how many I need, so I'm going to stop with that. Okay, the paper's been peeled off the plexiglass. Okay, now I need to kind of reshape them so they're more circular. That's how I want it. I could do them as ovals, whatever you do, it's up to you. I start in the center and I'm going to work my way up and down the surfboard. Now, the main trick with this is the least amount of touching the clay is always the rule. The more I sit and do all this, it makes the edges less clean and it looks more smudgy, if that's a word. Okay, so I'm just kind of winding these honus up the surfboard. I love no glue. It's a wonderful thing. Okay, I'm gonna do one more going up. So yes, I'm gonna need to cut a few more here. Remember, you move your clay the way you want your clay moved. It doesn't move you. If you want it, if you're not happy with how it is laying down, then change it, because it's not going to ooze or melt or, you know, do anything. It's going to be exactly as it is. Okay. Looks like I'm going to need, what, like 3 more maybe? Okay. Alrighty, or 2 more. I'm going to use this nice blade here for this, 1 and 2. And then I think what I want to do is add, here's one already pulled down smaller. I'm going to add a smaller one on the top and the bottom. And then it is time to dot. Now, if you're interested in getting plexiglass, a lot of award centers cut plexiglass for you. I've actually, I have someone in New York that does mine, but it's because I get lots of them made at one time. Okay, 2 more. Whoa, did you see how that just popped up? That was epic. Okay, little pleasures, little pleasures. Yeah, down on the bottom. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I want to kind of pop the turtles. Okay, I'm going to pop the turtles with this little itty bitty plumeria, which was like this when it was bigger. I'm going to go back to the little blade because it's easier to use with one hand. And when you're slicing, you see how I'm kind of flicking them off to the side? If I just kept going straight down, these wouldn't be round. And it's super important because you want to touch your canes the least amount you can. So I'm going to go back, kind of push these guys in here, work my way up, back down. It's amazing how many things happen with your, I mean, it takes 2 hands. I mean, I'm right-handed, but my left hand actually gets probably a bigger workout than my right hand. At least it's more sore. That's funny. Okay, here we go. Once we get our little plumerias in, I start doing the slicing of the our dot. And with that, we're gonna need so many slices that, like with this, I kind of slice as I go. I definitely did that with this one. But when I start working on the dot, I want to have lots of options available for me as I go. So what I do, I'll put this on my leg. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut a whole bunch of different sizes so I can just grab what I want. This is my method. It works best for me. You might find a method that works better for you. There's no right or wrong. It's just what works. So I'm going to start with big ones. I'm going to cut a series this size. And then I'm going to pull it down a little bit. And because I'm just starting, I'm not sure exactly how many of, well, I know I'm going to need more than this, but I'm not sure exactly how my slices are going to want to come together. It's kind of different on different pieces. So having a variety, when I go to cut more, I'll know, oh, I need more this size, or oh, I didn't really use that size. And that, even after 39 years, I don't know how to tell you how that works. The piece tells you when you're making it. When I'm cutting them, they're about the thickness of a dime. The main reason why you You don't want them thinner because then they're just too hard to manipulate, but you don't want them thicker because you're wasting your roll. And if you've spent all your time building these awesome things, you want to get the most out of it. Now the nice thing is anything that's funky from this roll, I can put in its own pile and it can get worked back into a new color because there's no reason for waste. If you go through all that, you want to be able to use everything. It's not inexpensive, it adds up. Okay, so now I'm getting down to the littles, as I call them. A couple more sizes. I recommend when you're first learning how to cut, because I really do make this look easy, that you just take a color and roll it out into a log and just practice cutting, because there is an art to it. And often when you're first cutting a cane that you made, you don't want to be wrecking your cane. You want to use it, you know, all of it, not have a bunch of sideways cuts. Okay, so we're almost there and able to start putting them on. So when I start, I usually pick one area and then work my way around whatever the piece is. So for this one, I'm going to start at the bottom, and okay, when you start to do your dotting, you always want to look 2 spots past where you are. So I'm not going to put myself in a position that it's going to be really hard to fit something in there. So I'm going to go here. The nice thing about the edge is you can kind of push into it. It's over a little bit. Oops, I just messed up my pattern. I don't like that, but that's what that goes. Okay. So I'm going to go here because I'm looking at this spot and I'm looking at this spot. And it really comes into play more so when you're getting down on your rolls out here, because you can make it so it's easier for you or more difficult. But here we are. The other nice thing about when you're dotting is, see, they're not perfectly round. So I have this little like pocket right here. So I can take the piece, I can give it a push like that. And then I can take it and insert it. And then take a baby and go on the outside. And I'm always trying to flip-flop between big ones and little ones. If you try and do everything with big ones, it's never going to work, and you're going to end up having to do something that you don't want. So it's better if right out of the gate you just flip-flop them. Okay, I see there's a little guy going in here. I've gone for some smalls, so I'm going to go back and put a big. So here we go. Working our way up. I did pretty good cutting here. Yeah. Let's see. Alrighty. I don't know how fun this part is to watch because it just keeps going, but it's wow, I like that. That's good. Maybe I'll take a little handbrake and show you some of the other ways that I use the dots like this. Before I start, I'm going to have to cut again. I just like it more natural, but that's me. Everybody's different. And by all means, you should try whatever it is that they have, because maybe you'll teach me something. Sometimes my dots are really tiny. Sometimes my dots are a little bit bigger. But I think it's best when you mix it, because then you can see the detail, and then you see them really little. You're like, oh my God, they're so tiny. Okay. Here we go. Back to it. See, I think it's kind of fun when you have these weird, funky spaces, because you can like manipulate the dot to fit in these interesting places. And that's the cool thing about the difference of this mosaic versus a, mosaic with something that's firm. Because if you're doing a mosaic with tiles, obviously you can't do this. You have to make them fit, but you've got these grout lines going around. With this, you literally can mold it any shape that you want. So it's like it's a whole nother level of mosaicness. Okay. Just working my way right on down the surfboard. I think it's interesting too, because sometimes I have like this little, I have a counting game I do in my head when I'm working on these. And that I get really excited when my numbers come out even. I look around, I'm like, oh, no one knows what's going on in my mind, but I do. That's good. Okay. That was a weird thing to say. All right. Oh, we're getting so close. Okay, let's get a couple more biggies. Blade's the right direction. Good thing. All right. Sometimes with the little ones, I do them a little bit thicker so that I can manipulate them a little bit more. If I need to make them, I can squish them and make them a little wider. Or, okay, we are so close. We can see the success here. Cut, 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 cut. Oop, cut, cut. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna leave this little guy for whatever it is I need. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so excited. This is what happens when you're like so close to the end. You're like, yes. Okay. That one's too thin. Reject. Okay. We're gonna just wrap this one around the bottom. See, I'm going big, small, trying to kind of mix it up a bit. And this little guy goes in here. There. Ooh, see how I reshaped that one? We can take this, do one of my little inverted triangles. Oh, we are so close. This is like so exciting. I always love the final countdown. I'm like, bring it. Now, normally I don't go quite this fast, but we have time. We've got a time schedule here. I call it beating the clock. And today I think I'm beating the clock very well. Okay, we're getting right down to the end. So put that one in there. Let's see, that one's here and a little bit bigger one, manipulated. See how this one's wonky? We don't want that one. Here we go. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, I'm happy. Look at that. Okay, we did it. We did our surfboard. So today we learned how to make the dot. We pulled it down. We learned how to manipulate the shape to fill in all the sides around these beautiful honus and the little tiny hibiscus. So now this will be low fired at 315 for 13 minutes. And then it will be hard. It'll be very, very strong. And when it gets dirty, you just rinse it, let it dry. You've got a beautiful piece of art on your hands. All right, I can't wait to see what you guys make out of your dots. Yeah, I'm very happy. Until we meet again, aloha, happy polymer play.